Like they notice everything. So if you feel like you think you're hiding something from a Scorpio, you're not. They already saw you doing what you were doing before you thought about doing it. Or before you thought about planning on doing it, they're already ahead of the fact that you were trying to think about doing something like this to bring it back around. Like, oh yeah, I should watch myself.
MAK3A wish, man. It's MAK3A wish, ma'am. MAK3A wish, damn.
Welcome back. Welcome. Whoa. It's welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of House of Aquarius podcast. It is your favorite Aquarius here. Make a wish. Back to bring you another one. This time, I know it's been a while. You guys been waiting patiently, eagerly anticipating this to come out, and I've been hoping to get it out sooner or faster. But we finally get time. It is almost Scorpio season, so that's why I'm late. So I gotta drop the Sun Sign Scorpio edition right now for you guys. As you see, I'm rocking my Scorpio Life #Scorpio Life shirt. This is one of the first ones I actually made back in the days, like 2 years ago. Yes, that's why it's a little rugged right now. But time flies. New providers, new developers of clothing goods. Check it down. Link below if you want that. Aside from that, though, let's hurry up and get right into this one. Scorpio, the eighth sign in the zodiacal calendar. Duality, feminine. Its triplicity, water sign / element. And its quadruplicity is a fixed sign, which means it's going to be either one, determined, two, persistent, or three, stubborn. Or all three, depending how you are at the point in time. Very great thing when used in the right way. Scorpio sign as birth, sex, death, and regeneration, which is one of the reasons why you might tend to find some of the more negative connotations towards Scorpios is that they are all about the dark side, or they walk around all emo like, the black clothes, the black garb, the black lipstick, the black eyeliner, sorry, the black nails, all that good shit. Not necessarily true, but it is sun sign written like that. Scorpio's ruling planets is, get this, it's one of the dual planets, the dual wielders of planets, which means they have a modern astrological ruler and a more traditional astrological or classical astrological ruler. Mars is the classical version, and Pluto is the more modern wise. Some people say, depending on where you go, information wise, will say it actually has a dual wielder. Mars bestows upon Scorpio an inner ability for hunger, willpower, and self reliance, whereas Pluto imbues upon them the powers of death, sex, and the occult. Darkness. You know, that's something that actually really got. I'm not too big fan of that one there itself, but we'll see. Let's as we go through life, let's see how dark our Scorpio friends can be. And going in tune with Scorpios being transmutated with the whole sexual collaboration, their ruling body part are the genitals, which I would love to get further into here, but I'm not going to dive too deep into it. She'll start getting too more into the wellness aspect of astrology later when I get there. Now, the polar opposite is also Taurus, which, if you guys were on my TikTok before, which I'm going to make a more up to date version of this on my under shorts for YouTube. But polar opposite isn't necessarily as in your negative side of a coin. It actually means something else totally different. We'll get to that, like I said, in a short. So jumping right into this information, Scorpio is one of the signs that tends to evoke anger in the people through the jealousness and the possessiveness, which I can't say anything true or for about them not having that because Scorpio is a sign that is known for being very possessive and very jealous. So, now one thing as I'm going to come back to quite often during this whole recap here is that Scorpios are one of the signs who are very secretive, and they also can evoke a lot of anger in people because they feel that people feel that the Scorpio should be more open and more giving to people, and that's just not in their nature. They're very secretive and they're very introverted in that regards. They do not trust easily. Like, it takes you a long time to actually break through their level of trust to become to be put into the friend category. And as we go further through this, you will see that one of the biggest things that the Scorpio loves to do, like really, I don't want to say desperate for, but it's something that the sign strives for, is that they want to be able to trust people, find the right person to trust to really open up and be themselves with. And that's actually one thing that all people strive for, but it is actually a dying, yearning desire of a Scorpio that they want. Generalized speaking, of course, not everyone's not the same, but it's a common trait. Sorry. Now, one thing that is actually very, very well known in regards to being stuck to Scorpio's name is they all are a all or nothing sign, fully committed to giving their all towards something, or to completely cutting things off and letting it go and not listening with it at all. Excuse me. That's why when it comes to relationships, you might quite often see that Scorpios are very, very loyal and they're very trustworthy of the people that they feel that they can be loyal with. And when you decide to, or should you decide to, betray a Scorpio's trust and move on from them, away from them, two things you might notice. One, they'll cut you go. They will feel betrayed and they might lash out at you in a very personal way. Or two, they let you go and just you won't ever talk to them ever again. In this regards here, one of the things that help Scorpio go so far towards the extremes for all or nothing is because they are a very passionate sign. They care very deeply. Going along the lines of the whole water sign trend, if you would follow any of my other informational things about water signs, is that they feel deeply. They're emotionally tuned deeply. And of all the other water signs, Scorpio has a moniker of being extra deep and extra diving into the emotional aspect of things because of the whole death and regeneration thing. They're parts of the people that no one wants to really dive into because it's all viewed as negative. And Scorpio is just kick back, relax, and just take a big drink of that Kool-Aid. Diving headfirst in that pool. They are not they aren't afraid of going that into those depths because this is part of they feel most at home there. Again, talk with the whole darkness trait, dark side thing. I really hate seeing these things, but there's no way to explain it outside of that. They are the they dive heavily to the dark side of force, but not in a malicious way. That's just where they feel most comfortable. Air quotes from my Spotify people. And now one thing as I was saying, they are a fixed sign. So when they set their mind to achieving something or getting something for themselves or set their mind on a goal for accomplishment, they are known to get it done because they throw their all into it. More often not, I'm sorry, not more often not, if that's something they want to do. They're very passionate. So when they go, and it's going to get done. If you very few signs or people or signs where you can say, I'm gonna give it to you and this job is completed. Go to sleep. Enjoy your life. It's gonna be done by the time you wake up. Scorpio is that sign, or one of those signs. And one thing that you may have heard as well is that the Scorpios are very, very strong-willed. They have a, I don't want to say they're as persistent, as tenacious as a Taurus, but it's hard to break a Scorpio. Scorpios are very analytical. They uh they will find a way to be flexible enough to figure out how to overcome adversity or problem they're dealing with because Scorpio is one of the research heavy signs. They love to be investigative. They know a lot about everything that they want to. If you actually want to trip up a Scorpio who's on your trail, just throw them some novelty thing that actually might really pique their interest. And they will literally spend a day or two or three diving into that research to figure out more about that. Now, one of the things too is that Scorpios had a very, 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 very nasty moniker. Even before I even got into astrology, I was hearing this shit. It's ridiculous that they're just the most evil sign of zodiac. Because they are the most misunderstood sign. Simply because people think that, again, like I said, the whole darkness surrounding atmosphere, and now you walk into the bedroom, it's all gloomy lights and lampshades covering everything, that kind of stuff. They're secretive, not in a malicious way. It just that's just how they are presented under the sign. And unless the Scorpio in question it actually is a negative person, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. They are known for being very, very advise advisable heavy for information because they've researched the topic that you may be already thinking about or have questions about, and they have the answers. If not, they're the kind of people to go get the answers for you. That's just one thing that I have stepped into far into the podcast later, but in my experiences, that's one thing that has been a very common denominator among them, point blank period. Now, one thing with having that misconstrued uh, and negative connotation thing that actually does go possibly with it, depending on how the person is that Scorpio is somewhat as in a major control freak. And when I say that, I don't mean that in their need to control people, but I mean a Scorpio feels out of whack when the area around them or things are affecting them are outside of their control. That's one of the reasons why they spend so much time diving into information and researching things so that they can make sure they can help keep their, I don't want to say a circle, but that square around them and the boundaries around them safe so they can feel secure. Because when they feel secure, they feel most at ease. I mean, that's a very vague, standard, generalized personal thing, but Scorpio feels they're most secure when they're controlling the area around them. So when you are dealing with a Scorpio, let's say at the workplace, where everything seems frantic and they're out of control, they don't feel like they're in control. And that really, 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 really messes them up. Like really. And as I was saying about the whole negativity thing, if the depending on the Scorpio and how their life influences have brought them to where you have come across them, and that whole control freak thing can actually turn into a really heavy dose of super militant motives, maliciousness, secretiveness, manipulation to do whatever they can do to get the most for themselves. When you run into that Scorpio, then all the bad things you have heard over Scorpio over the time, that is what you can expect to see from them. And that's a problem, obviously. I mean, unless you guys are like, go in the same direction to try to take over the world or, bring down a coup or bring down a regime or something like that, then that's perfect. And going down the thought of the negative aspects there, they can be very brooding and vengeful. That's one thing that you may have heard a lot is that Scorpio never forgets. That they can, at some point in time, bring up something that you done that was negative 17 years ago, 4 weeks, 3 days, down to the minute, which will get your ass in trouble. Or lessen your character, or whatever it is situation that can really hurt you because they don't forget information. They're like the water signs of Virgo. Do not forget information, and anything that you can say, do, and is visible or validated by them can be used against you in the court of life. So that's one of the things which I hate to say this, but you always have to tread carefully when dealing with a Scorpio. Scorpios are great people, but never cross a Scorpio because that can really bite you in the ass. You will get stung. You will get stung. Being in a relationship with a Scorpio is actually one of the best ways to see their highs and their lows. Much easier, especially if it's in a great relationship. You're gonna see the most amazing, best aspects of a Scorpio. You are gonna see their consistent loyalty. They're going to see their commitment to you, the passion to you. You're going to see that they will make sure that you are safe and you are secure and you are, if you when you're in the circle, you are in good hands. But if you're not, though, I'm not going to dive into that. Best of luck to you. And one thing that, if you didn't pick up from earlier, what I was saying about the whole investigative research heavy thing, that Scorpios are very observational. Like they notice everything. So if you feel like you think you're hiding something from a Scorpio, you're not. They already saw you doing what you were doing before you thought we were doing it. Or before you thought we were planning on doing it, they already ahead of the fact that you were trying to think about doing something like this to bring it back around. Like, oh yeah, I should watch myself before these A, B, C, D, F, and G things are lining up to what I thought was going to happen. They were way ahead of you. It's really hard to manipulate a Scorpio. It's kind of hard to deceive a Scorpio. And if they do, that's definitely because of other placements in the chart. Or because they let the love blind them from seeing the truth and act upon the information that there was available to them. And either way, like I said, you're trying to cross that Scorpio. And now I was gonna say a few other random things, but I can just save that and go into my favorite aspect of these sun sign episodes. My personal experiences. So let me tell you a thing or two about the Scorpios. Let me adjust my pants real quick. Sorry, my seat real quick, my cushions. Unfortunately, I'm one of those Aquariuses with a pancake in the back, so we gotta protect them cheeks a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So going forward, like I was saying, Scorpios. First off, let me say this: I love Scorpios. I love me my Scorpios. I love me my Scorpios. I didn't know why for a long time, but now instead of diving further into this, let me just give a little sneak peek. My moon sign is Scorpio. So I've been able to relate with Scorpios on a different level because we are very similar in that regards. But I'll explain that to you when we start to talk about moon signs after I drop a few more of these sun sign episodes. This can be great, okay? Well, I said my experience with Scorpios. Well, most people I talk to tend to be female, or especially upper to this thing. So I got a lot more juice information from Scorpios. Dealing with Scorpios, I have spent a lot of time talking with them and prying through the defenses and the shields and the walls because I too am like that. So when I feel someone has the walls that I have, I want to go towards them. I want to go towards them more to open them up, bring them open so you can express themselves a little bit. It's always been weird, odd, strange. Everyone that I talk to who has been a Scorpio has always been the same exact way. They got to a point to the whole trust thing, and ta-da, we had this great synergetic relationship going on. Very, 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 very. One thing that I didn't mention because I didn't go to the co-work to the sorry co-worker into the job field is that Scorpios do amazing work in charge as leaders of a department, of a whole team, of an ownership, or whatever. Scorpios, they are known for being high achievers. And from what I've noticed, Scorpios tend to be, excuse me, at their best in the workplace at a higher level, in some kind of management level, some kind of management position, okay? So where they're in charge and able to properly use their intellect to keep things moving a certain kind of way, get the job done, and keep the gears running the way it's supposed to run. That's what I've been seeing is top, 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 consistently Scorpio level stuff. Always meant to be in charge. Um, this is male or female. When I see one that I noticed too is that most of the female Scorpios that I've dealt with always tend, like I said, have those walls up, those shields up, whatever, but always tend to be very mental, introspective, play very defensive, getting information, and then finding the right time when it's time to actually land, put themselves out there. Because, like I said, Scorpios have trust issues aplenty, and regardless of what the sun sign is, the Scorpio, sorry, like in my case, being a Scorpio moon, even though I'm Aquarius, I'm very talkative, outspoken for the most part, but I'm very, very, very secretive. That's all across the board. And when you find someone who's able to let you be you openly, it's an amazing thing. That's why I'm so glad that a relationship that I have had with a Scorpio has always been, I don't want to say great, but we've always been very open with each other. It's easy for us to talk to each other because you feel that level of trust is there. Um, Even when I go to my male Scorpios, oh, that's one thing with going male Scorpios too. From the male to the female dynamic there, I noticed that most of the men tend to be more aggressive in regards to and are outspoken in regards to the Scorpio dynamic part. I see notice that the men to be more possessive, I would say not, and more outwardly jealous prone and visibly showing of it, compared to the females who may have that same possessive jealousy part, but they act more subliminally about it and more indirect and put things in motion to actually show where, I'm saying, more mental, like more mental chess stuff. That's the best way to put it. I noticed that Scorpio men to be more checkers oriented and Scorpio females to be more chess oriented in regards to how their dynamic of how the game or dynamic of how the Scorpio life is played with them. That's what we're noticing. Um, Aside from that, like I said, I know me a whole bunch of Scorpios, and I said everyone I actually get along very well with. So, oh yeah, by the way, none of them are into dark arts. No one is just casting curses on people behind people's backs or doing voodoo witchcraft or anything like that. None of that extra stuff. No one's constantly like sacrificing baby lambs and that kind of shit. It's just the moniker behind IC. But very loving though. Oh, very very family oriented. They may or may not have kids, but when they do though, that is their world. That is their world. And whatever they gotta do for the kids or the family to make things happen, leaps and bounds above whatever. And do not ever, ever. I mean, this is a common denominator among most people, but do not try to hurt Scorpio's child. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Just gonna leave it at that. Oh man. But yeah, yeah, no, because I've seen some good side and bad sides of Scorpios over the years. But like I said, the thing about astrology, what I love is it helps you understand why things happen the way they happen. Have I been stung by a Scorpio? Yeah, of course, a few times. I'm a fucking Aquarius. I do dumb shit. I poke birds and run. But yeah, no. Honestly, though, it's just amazing. Like, Scorpios, actually, glad that I kind of took a little more time to do this Sun Sign 1 episode because it actually is a little more personal to me this time. Because I talk about sun sign stuff, but as you see it, we get the moon signs, the Scorpio traits fall into the moon sign and fall into other placements as things happen the way they happen. But like I said, we'll get into that some other point in time. As we go further, as you keep going with me down this journey, you will see how things intertwine, intermingle, that kind of stuff. But I'm not gonna get too much further into any other random jazz spiel or going to the club situation, stuff like that about the Scorpios, but just know what they say about Scorpios should be a lot more positive. I love me some Scorpios. And I don't like a lot of people. But I love me some Scorpios, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm actually gonna cut it off there. I hope you happen to heard or learn something new about about the Scorpios. And if you have a Scorpio in your family, your friends, something like that, something that they can relate to, they might be able to hear a little more about themselves in a different light, in a not negative light. Share this with them. Let them see this and hear this, you know. And if there's anything else that you want to add into the comments below, you can have a nice discussion there too about this. I much appreciate that. Help me help others, because that is my whole mission with this stuff. So, and that brings me joy, because I'm so passionate emotionally for you guys. As my Scorpio moon lets me be, you know. But that being said, as always, my friends, stay classy. Be you. Make a wish.